Hi Gemini, and welcome to your May 2017 tarot reading. I had to do over your reading because it just stopped 4.5 minutes in on its own. So it didn't make sense for me to just record it with the cards laid out again, like the cards already being laid out, because I prefer that you see the cards that pop out. So I've put them back into the deck, and I'll shuffle again now. And also, I'm sorry for the delay. And if you're new to my channel, my name is JJ, and it's a pleasure to have you here as usual. Just gonna bring this up so you see me. I hope everyone had a good April. And let's see what May has in store for you, and may it be better than April. So Gemini, I was always wondering, how it is that you can manage to have multiple splits in your personality. Not the kind that is diagnosed, right? I'm not saying that you are dissociative. I just mean that I find it astonishing that you can, oh, there we go. She wanted to come back. She did. Queen of Cups. Right. So, I just find it fascinating that you can fluctuate. You can go back and forth between being calm and then not so calm, good, then not so good, whatever. The point is that you have such immense control over your situation sometimes. It may not seem like you do from the outside, and that's why people always people think Geminis are so typical of twins, like there is a good side and there is a bad side, and that makes you highly unpredictable in that sense. But what they don't know is that you're predictable to yourself, so you have full control of when you switch on either side of you. And I just think it's very admirable. This creeper was at the bottom of the deck last time I shuffled. So, you may be in the midst of a thief, but let's not jump to any conclusions this time, this early on, I mean, in your reading. Or this may be you needing to be your quirky self who's just switching back and forth between different lives. It's what makes it so difficult for people to peg some sort of an MO on you. Like that's hard. Like I feel as though if there was ever to be an investigation of a Gemini, then finding your imprint, what makes you unique, would be extremely difficult to find that behavioral signature of yours, because I wouldn't be surprised if we end up, like anyone ends up finding more than one behavioral signature that they can relate back to you as a Gemini, because you're just that talented from going back and forth. You can look like the typical CEO, that typical businessman or businesswoman when you're at the workplace, someone who's always clothed in suits. For some of you, obviously not everyone wears a suit, right? But then you go home and then you're this ultra laid back mom, ultra laid back dad. And it's almost like you're not, you're not that CEO, that you're so able to just switch back and forth between your modes. Teach us, Gemini. Teach us your ways. I think Geminis perform very well under pressure. And Geminis are really good at masking their pressure as well, so that it doesn't always affect those around. But if you happen to fall on the cusp between Gemini and Cancer, then maybe you don't have as much control as those who are deep in the Gemini sign, like midway through the second decan or something of Gemini. only going to take this because it flipped, okay? So interestingly enough, in the very first row of your reading, we have the Queen of Cups. Like, that's how your reading starts. Not going to look at that. That's how your reading starts, with the Queen of Cups, right? And at the very end of the row is the Knight of Cups. Both of these figures, both of these court cards are looking away from your reading. How interesting is that? The Knight of Cups is turning his back on the Seven of Swords, this thief. And the Queen of Cups is turning her back from the Six of Wands, the person who's riding into victory. Or is it a false victory? Is it a fake victory that this person is walking towards? Is it the kind of victory that they did not have the right to earn, that they earned through deception, through being deceptive, by stealing something? And a lot of emotions may have revolved around such a character in the past and not anymore, which is why both the Queen of Cups and Knight of Cups are riding away from your reading. They don't want to give this person, or this institution, could be an actual full institution for some of you, don't want to give them your time of day anymore, because you know that the more you feed them your energy, the more they have this ability to just get away with things. Something that the Seven of Swords is really good at doing, getting away with things. You may have seen this person be successful in the past, and you may have thought that you had absolutely no control or say in order to prevent their prosperity. But you're the kind of person that believes in karma as well, and you know that karma is just going to come back around. Karma will deal with it, basically, where you're like, why should I exert my time and effort into handling this person? I'm just going to let karma take care of it, basically. So that's the vibe that I get with this Hanged Man, who's right underneath this Six of Wands here. This Hanged Man comes back to say that they are, like, up above is taking care of it, and it is what it is. It is what it is. What is destined for this person will occur in this person's life, even if it means short-term success coming their way, which may also mean taking away that success from you, having caused all this difficulty in your life previously. And it may, this insight comes perhaps from consulting someone who can look into a magic ball, who can look into that crystal ball and confirm those feelings that you have of this person not being very deserving of any praise that they've gotten. But you'll see, though, that this was a very temporary condition. This success is not one that will last. It's been put on pause right now. Interestingly, enough, you may have not said or done anything to prevent this person's shortcomings from happening. Not just because you believe that the world will take care of it, things will just be restored eventually, But because there is an emotional connection to this person as well, they may be your friend outside of the business or the workplace. This person may not even be someone who works with you, but someone who can be profitable to you in your life, someone who can add riches to your life that way, different kinds of riches in terms of like a friendship or providing you with some sort of support that you may need, that you may want, but they are just as much a friend or a part of the family that you've put together here on earth. So not necessarily blood related, but the family that you pick out. So this person can be dear to you, but their inconsistencies or their way in life, which they've just been able to get away with, hasn't been the kind that you approve of usually, Gemini, but you've kept your mouth shut for whatever reason. You've kept your mouth shut, and this person is finding it rather difficult to not to cross paths with you, because no matter how often they try to disappear and they try to come out of your life, they are being pulled back by this Ace of Cups here. It's this is the energy that they're trying to get away from, because this is not your energy. Funnily enough, I feel like I'm reading for someone that is in your life as opposed to reading for you at this time, Gemini. But this could be because you may be consumed by this person. This person may be on your mind, and they may be related or significant in one way to certain events that are happening in your life right now. So, oh, my back. I just had to stretch there a little bit. So just as much as you may be turning your back on this person, so are they in a way. But you're both ignoring the situation at hand here, even though one of you, it's going to be either of you actually, one of you is more inclined to jump back into that bandwagon and just pick up where you left off, knowing what your faults are, what the other person's faults are. There is this ability to forgive one another and to move on because of the friendship that binds you, that happens to be more important than anything else that's going on. Even if the status quo is generally to end up fighting with one another over these issues. So there may be a lot of love that is shared between the two of you, but it's also like one way of loving is through heavy discourse, the kind that doesn't always leave you feeling the best, that you wonder why this person even sticks around or why you stick around this person's life. But despite any incompatibility, there is a reason why they're in your life. It is what it is. Like with this Hierophant, this person was just inserted into your life like a pawn, or you in their lives, and one has more control over the other. One can give more than the other. One is more receptive than the other. This Queen of Cups is more receptive of all that happens, and she's more silent about everything that happens, while this Knight of Cups is more enthusiastic to give and slightly naive as well. Naive in the sense that they're willing to look the other way when they see something off-putting happening. They're willing to forget about it. They're willing to just like you know, chalk it off as saying, oh, it was just a one-time thing. It's not going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. They'll be back. They'll be back. So now is this time of leaving things up to karma and sort of destiny to restore the order of things between the two of you, with this Hanged Man here. And what you've already prophesized may happen, will happen. And again, you've received the aid of someone who might have such latent abilities to show you what will happen, or to reveal certain traits about this person that you may have not been aware of. This can be as simple as receiving confirmation from a mutual friend who confirms your suspicions about this person's wrongdoings, or this person having cut corners in the past so that they could profit from something. And essentially that's how they've managed to be so successful, not because they are all that witty or powerful, but just because they happen to have some form of luck on their side that allows them to manage their business pretty well. And they're confident enough, like they've gotten away with things more than once, that they're confident enough that it's just not going to happen to them, like that they'll never lose, that they will always be on some sort of streak, that they can always just get away with it. And you may have convinced yourself for a portion of time as well, Gemini, that this person's been blessed that way, that it's not always very easy for others to see their darker side, although you do. It could also be that others are fearful of this person's power, fearful of how much advantage this person can take of the power that they are given. They could come from a very strong family. They could be someone who has quite a lot of money. They could be someone who has a very important name backing them up. So they kind of always have this priest to go to for advice, to seek counsel to. But this person can also be a source of your undoing. They can just as easily provide comfort to you as much as they can provide conflict in your life. If they wanted to insert venom in your life, they could. And if they wanted to take away your suffering, they also could. So there is an evil streak to this person I seem to be reading for, who is not a Gemini, but just please let me make that clear. I feel this reading is for someone in your life more than it is for you. So this person can be so powerful that they can be your undoing. So they can take away your suffering as much as they can be the person that causes conflict to occur. They are tied in multiple directions. So, and that is because that's also the reason why I started to talk about how you guys, at the beginning I was saying, you have the ability to go back and forth between, you switch back and forth between like feeling confident and not, or like embracing your dark side and then embracing your light side, and you can cause confusion that way. So this person can be confused because you mean something to them. They want to get away from this, right? They really do. They try to be more of a temporary presence in your life, even though they have always been there in the background. They've always been there in the background, but they won't reveal themselves to you unless they want to. So, and there is often, it seems like there is this confusion between giving you comfort and love and support, but not the kind, not forever, like not always. They can shower you with so much comfort and love on some days, and then on other days they just want to go back to not being so involved. So they're always being pulled back and forth between these conflicting emotions. And it might also be the same with you, where you value them as a friend, and you may even see them to be part of your family. But you really dread the conflict that occurs from every now and then. Those fights can be such a turn-off for you. Just trying to see if there's anything else here in your reading. There doesn't really seem to be anything else that's like popping out other than that, to be honest, Gemini. And sometimes short readings are better than longer readings, because then I'll just go on and on and on about stuff that just doesn't end up being very relevant. But so this person may have caught several breaks in their life. I reiterate what I said about them having the tendency to be successful and to get away with things barely, but still, because of whatever support system they have going on here that allows it to just be easier, right? But like I said, they may end up, it might not be like that for very long, is what I'm trying to say. It might not stay this way for forever, and rather than you coming to them for some sort of support, they might come to you one day for support. And I wouldn't be surprised if they felt really awkward about this, or if it made you feel awkward about it, because you may usually be put in a situation with this person where you're under their mercy, but this time around you see that you have some sort of an advantage over them that way, but that break in character that they have with you catches you off guard. So you might stop to think, you might stop to wonder if they're basically playing games with you, if it's some sort of a ruse, which is what this could talk about here as well. So you're not so sure whether or not you can trust it. They could be testing the waters with you. They want to maybe see where you're at in life. And if you catch on to that, and if it happens to be true, and you catch on to it, that might hurt you because of the love that you share. Yeah. That's your reading, Gemini, for May 2017. Hope it made sense. I will catch up with you guys sometime next month. In the meanwhile, take good care of yourselves and enjoy the rest of the month. As always, I really appreciate you. Thank you for your love and your continuous support here. Bye.